If something is broke, what do? You fix it. You don't throw it away. When the prison system inside the United States, we should choose to not abolish it, but to fix it. I negate the resolution resolved. This House believes that prisons should be abolished, and I negate it for 3 reasons. First, the alternatives are not effective. Second, criminals need to be locked up. Then finally, reform is the best option. Moving on to my first point, which is that the alternatives are not effective. Many people would claim that we should change the prison system to a rehabilitation or probation program, but they don't work as effectively as prisons. So point A, life sentences. Many people in the prison system are serving life sentences. Out of the 2.3 million inmates in the United States, 10% of them are serving life sentences. This is a large number of the prison population. One of the suggested alternatives to prison is rehabilitative centers. But that doesn't work with this 10%, as they are serving for life and they'll never be back into society. For those serving a life sentences, the only feasible and logical option is prison. Subpoint B, cost. I do agree that prisons are expensive, but they actually tend to be one of the more cheaper options in retrospect. Low-cost rehab is as much as $7,500 a month. This is $90,000 per year, and that's the low cost for rehab. The price tag for prisons is $30,000 per person per year. We can see from just simple math that prisons are more cost-effective than another option like rehab. And subpoint C, number of prisoners. No other system can handle the high number of prisoners of which the United States has. There are 2.3 million people in the prison system, and it's already getting overcrowded as it is. If we change to another system, they would not be able to hold the high number of prisoners, when we already see that the prison systems are struggling, the excess people. We should address this problem instead of having a whole new system. Now to move on to my second point. Criminals need to be locked up. There needs to be punishment for a crime. If a person breaks the law, they need to be punished. It's just common sense. The prison system is in place to make America safer. The Economist explains that some criminals do belong behind bars. When a habitual rapist is locked up, the streets are safer. This is extremely true. When a person commits a crime, they should have to do the time which goes with it. If a person murders another person or rapes a child, they should have to go to prison as punishment. Getting a person who is a murderer off the street is safer for everyone in America. The people who commit crimes need to be locked up and out of society so they can't do more harm. But also, my final point, which is that reform is the best option. I will agree with the fact that prisons aren't perfect, but they can be changed through reform. That is the best option to deal with the parts of the prison system which are not up to par. The prison system does not need to be abolished altogether. What needs to happen is for there not to be corruption, and one of the main sources of corruption is private prisons. These private prisons are not owned by the government, but by private corporations. And the Huffington Post on September 2013 explains that many private prison companies have been successful at inserting quotas into private prison contracts, which require states to maintain high occupancy levels in their private prisons. In fact, according to a new study released in the public interest, an alarming 65% of state and local private prison contracts included quotas, and they say they have to have a certain amount of people in prison, and if they don't, the taxpayers have to pay. This is a corrupt system, as if there's lower crime, the taxpayers have to pay more. But that's not all private prisons are doing to hurt the prison system. Sentencing Project explains that private prison companies have also been cited for endangering inmates by providing inadequate healthcare services. Reforming private prisons is the best way to help the prison system, not to get rid of it altogether. Then after that, we can reform with the other issues which need to be addressed after we get rid of the private prisons. The system has been in place for a long time, and replacing the system would take a lot of time and money. Thus, reform is the best option. And for all these reasons, I choose to negate the resolution that prisons should be abolished. Thank you.